So before we get into X's and O's too much, I'm doing a side project on the men's basketball team because they turn 100 years old a week from today, I think.
Yes.
So I know you guys are an independent program, but just what kind of working relationship does the women's program have with the men's program?
Well, it makes it pretty easy when they're easy to work with. You know, being family, brother-in-law, it's pretty easy. They're laid-back staff, and we're each other's biggest fans. So it's always fun to have that family uniqueness. But even Maverick and Michael, they're close friends and family too. That's just BSU all around.
And then for you guys, there's obviously you're now picking up into the season, but it's also finals week for your kids. So how do you balance that as a coach, or how do you put your kids in the best position possible, both in the classroom and obviously wanting to go out and win a couple games this week?
Right. Yeah. College is heavy, right? It's busy all the time, and now you put another facet in with finals. It's every year. You can just kind of feel it. So we try to just limit things for them, not exhaust them anymore, put more pressure on it. We simplify things, take a day off, watch film, let their bodies rest and their minds rest a little bit, and we'll be prepared for the games as well. So we're not giving them time, we're just, being really respectful of the fact that they're stressed out right now and it weighs on them, so we want to make sure we make lighter of it.
Yeah, so that's a strategy. How have you seen it benefit the kids, or how do they do with, everything that's on their plates?
It's still a lot. We try to help them out as much as possible, but they're still feeling it, so we just keep encouraging them, making their schedules as easy as possible and not drowning them, but it's still heavy.
Crookston yesterday, maybe not the easiest of wins for you guys, but you got the win. Chaz said to Brooklyn, it's just, you heard it 1,000 times, but it doesn't matter how, you just got the win.
Yeah.
So how important was that to just get that monkey off your back and be able to move on from that now?
Yeah, I kind of get sick of hearing, oh, you guys almost lost to Crookston. Crookston's pretty damn good. They played well. They shot the ball in, and they're veteran too. So, and we're on the road. It's in northern sun, so you got to make sure you're ready to play anyone and giving respect to everyone. And that's what we do as a team. I think we beat ourselves up. Of course, we weren't perfect. I think if we played halfway better defense than we did, we don't make that thing a close game. But at the same time, we didn't, and you have to credit them just as much as you have to fault us defensively. But I liked who we were offensively. We finally got clicking as a team with all those assists on, 22 of 30. Was incredible for us to see that. So that's what I want us to be able to celebrate that and not take away from the fact that, oh, should we beat that team? No, you got to show up.
Yeah, Chelsea, I guess I was saying this to Mike too, is that us media guys and most people, fans, a lot of people, we only see the games. It's just a small part of everything you guys put together. If you evaluate your team, how have you guys done practice-wise? Have you been a good practice team so far? What have you done that's been most encouraging practice so far this year?
Practices are tough because we're such a big team and we're trying to figure out rotations and trying to get reps for the kids that probably play more minutes, but also preparing those women who haven't seen as many minutes and need to be prepared if and when they do. It's hard. It's a shuffle. That's more of a mind game to prep practice and prep rotations and who's on what team and who needs to play together. It's been difficult, but if we don't make things competitive, then we get lull in practice. So we try to keep things competitive, whether it's a shooting drill, whether it's a breakdown drill, or if we're playing live.
Yeah. I just was thinking this too when I was asking it as well. Is it pretty much now practice, and I'm just curious about, is it pretty much practices back to how it was before COVID, or is there still differences?
I think we've taken a little bit away from last year in COVID and saying if we have 3 hours where we could practice, we don't need to go 3 hours or 2 hours. If we can get something done in an hour and a half, let's get out of here. And that's how we kind of protected our minds and bodies last year with COVID, and I brought a little bit of that back into this year. There's still a lot of stressors. There's still, heaviness, especially earlier when Mike was talking about finals week. We want to make sure that we're not adding more and then not getting out what we need to. So some of that time management piece is still coming through.
Obviously, there's games to talk about too, but it's also finals week coming up for you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about the, academic side of things. You've been around the block a few times, obviously. So how do you balance, obviously, needing to perform on the court and having responsibilities there, but also, just kind of the stress that comes with finals week?
Yeah, I feel like it's something that we've been used to. Obviously going from high school to college is a little bit of a change, but once you finish your first semester, you kind of get in a rhythm. This year is pretty nice for me actually. Our grad school is all online. So I have one final tonight where I just have to record something, but I've been done for a couple weeks now, so it's very stress-free for me. I feel like I'm getting senioritis though, but.
And so maybe not this semester, but in prior semesters or for other girls on the team, does the schedule change much for you guys during finals week, or how do you manage that?
Yeah, our practice times are a little different, so I think having a sport, getting you going, is actually good for us, just getting some exercise in. But it's kind of just when you're not playing basketball, you're studying. It's kind of a brutal week just in school practice, kind of just all business, but once we when we get back from Christmas and we have that 3 weeks off, everyone's just kind of pushing for that. So I feel like it's just get through this week, and then a lot of girls on our team are pretty smart too, so they're not too worried about finals, but it is kind of scary too.
Mm-hmm. We come here and we go to games, and for me it's easy to forget about the student part of the student athlete, right? But just how big is how big a part of that is in your? How big of a part is? You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
How big is that in your life, and still obviously wanting to do really well on the court, but still wanting to put your best foot forward in the classroom to set yourself up for more than just these next few years?
Yeah, being a student is a really big deal to most girls on our team. A lot of people are trying to push to go to grad school. I'm in that step right now, so now I'm just thinking of getting through that and having some good credentials to get a job next year. So all of it's really scary. But it's something that you want to do in this point, and everyone's kind of getting past those gen eds and getting more into their focused part. So I think it's just something that's kind of exciting. Everyone really likes what they're doing. So while it is grueling and it is hard, it's also really exciting for the future.
Yeah.
School is a full-time job, right?
Yeah, right.
That's good. That's only going to help you down the road. Brooklyn, obviously, you guys got the win yesterday. Got off that losing streak you had. I'm sure you've heard it thousands of times with the athlete, a win's a win, doesn't matter how you get it. Mm-hmm. Just how important was it for you guys to, despite how you guys got the win, get the win?
Yeah, I think it was really important for us to just try and focus. We've been really slow on the offensive end. We have all of our parts and we're getting the right shots, but we just haven't been getting a lot to fall. So that's what we wanted to focus on yesterday, and we did so. Unfortunately, we traded it off with our defense, which then we chose to be bad at that yesterday. But I think just getting the win and understanding that even when we're not playing our best, we can get a win in this conference is something that's nice. It's comforting, but again, we just have to go back to the drawing board because Moorhead and Northern are both tough and different teams. So it's something where we're glad that we got that win. We broke our losing streak. Rachel started firing at all cylinders. Maddie and Coley really stepped up. So we're getting our pieces. It's just putting it all together hopefully this weekend, heading into Christmas.
Yeah, good O and good D both at the same time can be hard to find sometimes.
Yeah.
But do you remember like a time in your career where you guys had both of those going exactly, and how do you get to that?
Yeah, I think obviously my freshman and sophomore year were a bit of a struggle for us, but I think last year during COVID we practiced for 3 months, 4 months straight because we started in January. So we were super in shape. We've been playing together for a super long time. I think that was our best. I think we had 7 wins in a row, but we just went on a stretch where we were just so good, and everyone was doing so it wasn't like any pressure on one person. I just think that to get back to that, we did need some games under our belt. We played 2 really good teams in Florida and then started off with the best 2 teams in our conference. So we've had trials and we've seen what is going to go wrong against the best, so now we can work on that against teams that are still really good, but that we match up a little bit better against.
Good for me.
Cool.
Good.
Thanks,
Good.